Welcome to the workshop.
Previously we used the bandsaw to cut the profiles on the legs. Now we can start to take the legs towards their final shape. While the front legs are still square enough to clamp easily, we drill the dowel holes for attaching the arms. These need to be vertical to make connecting the armrest easier, but with the angle we've got on the top of the leg, I'm setting them forward from centre so that I can get a reasonable amount of depth in. Just gauging perpendicular. And that should do. You may have noticed the way that I've clamped the work. This hole could have been drilled before bandsawing out the shape of the leg. It would have been easier to clamp. But what I've done here is I've referenced the end of the leg, which was on the flat of the original component, and this end of the leg, which also touched the flat. So I know with those against the straight edge that I'm holding the leg upright. Using the engineer's square and this straight edge gives me a visual guide when I'm drilling to make sure I'm going straight down. To avoid over clamping the piece, I've put some blocking underneath so that I needn't tighten up on the vise too much, and that takes the force of the drill going down. When it comes to shaping the leg, you'll need to use some ingenuity in how you clamp it. It's important to get it clamped quite firmly, but also to support it because it's bent, and certainly on the softwood here we need to make sure that it's not going to move around or be compressed too much. So I'm using a sash clamp here, holding the ends reasonably firm. That's clamped into the vise along with a scrap of wood here and some wedges to support from underneath. Now I can use a variety of tools to shape the leg. I've got a very coarse rasp here and some different grades to come along later. Spoke shave, another spoke shave, and a draw knife. So let's make a start. The draw knife is probably the fastest way to go. With the bevel down we can control how deep a cut we get. But we'll just have to see whether the grain will allow us to use it easily. So using the draw knife, it's actually working quite easily. We can make reasonable progress. But again, clamping here, I can't get to that back side, so I'll have to turn the whole thing round. If I use a spoke shave, I can't get as much material off as quickly, but I can get to this side without turning it round in the clamps. And you just have to work out which is the best way for you. A rasp can be very quick. I forgot to mention that in this area where the joint is, only half of the material is in the seat. This half over here. So I'll be removing these two sections here and rounding over the whole of this side to match the profiles of the rest of the leg. We'll complete the sculpting into the seat when the seat's attached. Eventually you stand up with a leg. It's nice and curved, roundish towards the bottom and an oval towards the joint. We've finished the process off when the chair's put together, but that takes most of the work out of it.